Today is a special day. Today is a special day, chance. I can put on special days. Video is allowed.
Jai Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama 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 Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om. Swamiji. Hari Om. Swamiji, చిన్న శ్లోకం చూడండి స్వామిజీ ఇందుకి.
Enna?
చిన్న శ్లోకం పెద్ద సమాధి చిన్న
Shlokam he is going to tell.
Oh, okay.
हरि ओम
हरि ओम।
गुरु रामदासस्य अद्य समाधि स्मरण दिवसे अस्माकं सर्वस्वं गुरुपादे समर्पित्वा सद्यः त्वयि करोति इति प्रार्थयामः. Today being a Samadhi day of Papa Guru Ramadas, we offer everything at his holy feet and pray to him, make it thine and thine only, now and here, Papa. Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. So today is the 61st Mahasamadhi day. We have heard so many quotations of Papa. We wanted to live up to it, but somehow we have the reality is distant. We are busy in doing all activities like bhajan, ramnam, all those things are going on. But at the same time, we still feel the inadequacy in our sadhana. So days like this, it makes us remember of the goal to be scaled. So today, for the past few days now, Papa has been hammering that unless and until we try to feel his presence within, our sadhanas will not bear the fruit fully. So with that in mind, he prompted us to have these Mauna sessions, and everywhere he saw to it that the participants make they join. I won't say everybody is enjoying it, but they join fully. So today here also, from 10 o'clock to 11:30, 11:30, 1.5 hours, about 40 to 50 people, they sat in Bhajan Hall and was not only observing, in their own way, each must have been trying to make an effort to feel. Please mute.
She's going to mute.
Please mute. Please mute, Sridhar Bhatt. Sridhar Bhatt. So 10. Please mute, Sridhar Bhatt. No, correct. So some 10 o'clock to 1.5 hours at a stretch. And it so happened that before going to Bhajan Hall, what is to be shared, it was just welling up in our mind. Immediately, one old copy of God Experience, volume number 2, we were led to that book, and at random we opened, and what you see now is the portion. I will just read it out. Papa, bhajan is only a stage. Bhajan, Ramnam, everything, so that you know how to be silent. Silent not merely orally, but mentally. That stage of silence you must reach soon, without going on making noises all the life. That stage of silence you must reach soon, without going on making noises all the life. Utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts, In that stillness it is that you know and realize God. Bhajan, Kirtan, Namasmaran are all means to that end. So the devotees asked, we cannot reach that stage all of a sudden without preparation. Papa says, how many years you have passed in preparation? It depends upon you to make it long or short. It depends upon you to make it long or short. What? Preparation. You cannot go on preparing yourself all the life. There must be a time to attain the goal, the realization of the self. If you go on pulling and pulling the arrow set on the bow, it would not hit the mark. You must let go the arrow. Then it will hit the mark. So you have to repeat, chant or sing the name, no doubt, for a certain period. After that, repetition must cease. Mind must become perfectly still. In that stillness, duality is transcended. The repeater and the repeated, devotee and God become one. In order to still the mind, you must have in view God realization as the chief aim of your sadhana. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness of the mind is essential in order to experience absolute peace and bliss. Unless the mind is controlled and stilled, we have not achieved anything. Unless the mind is controlled and stilled, you have not achieved anything. So after every bhajan means Ram bhajan, no, Ram Nam itself, have a short period, say of 10 to 15 minutes, to sit silent and watch the mind. As a result of singing God's name, you will find the mind has become calm and serene. That is the fruit of bhajan, fruit of sadhana that you do. When Ramdas was in Europe and America, after his talks, the devotees who gathered here, they would suggest, Swamiji, let us sit for 5 minutes together with you, perfectly silent. The first day Ramdas agreed, and we sat perfectly silent. The next day they said, let us have 15 minutes. And we had 15 minutes silence. Later on, it was increased to half an hour. Every day after the evening talks, we would sit together for half an hour, perfectly silent. So in all our spiritual discipline, let us try to add this dimension. We can do bhajan, Ram Nam, everything as usual, but let us set apart some time for it, for tasting the stillness. So today we requested everybody, devotees here, that from tomorrow onwards, we will have the bhajan normally, 10:30 to 11:30. So we, instead of that, we will have 10:15 to 11:15. 11:15 we will start Ram Nam. It comes to a close at 12 o'clock. 12 to 12:15 we can have this. And then prayer, Arati. Because by the time we chant Ram Nam and it is toned down, and then, it stops. So that it becomes a regular feature, not once in a way. And once in a month, the Sankalpa is to have on the second Sunday a full day session. And some words about Papa, 3 quotations are also there. Stand apart in the stillness and silence of your undying, unchanging spirit, and play the part which is the divine power active in you and the world has appointed for you. Stand apart in the stillness and silence of your undying and unchanging spirit. The undying and unchanging spirit presence can be experienced only through stillness and silence. Stand apart in the stillness and silence of your undying and unchanging spirit and play the part which the divine power active in you and the world has appointed you. So we are not sitting quiet during that period. And probably a stage may come even while we are acting, we may be able to feel the stillness inside. The universal life is God, and our life must merge in that. Life just like a drop in the ocean. For this, our mind should become still. Stillness of the mind means experience of the universal truth. The restless mind gives rise to individuality. Our mind should become still. Stillness of the mind means experience of the universal truth. The restless mind gives rise to individuality. Mere reading of scriptures cannot help you to keep the mind still. Stillness of the mind alone can enable you to realize the presence of God within and without you. So let us now pool all our resources. Not only during the specified time for Mauna. These words, we keep on bringing up. Stillness is essential to feel His presence. We are doing everything only to feel His presence. We are not doing Ramnam for the sake of Ramnam. We are doing Ramnam for the sake of realizing Him. We attend sessions, we go through books, not for the sake of reading, not the sake of attending, but for the sake of realizing. So always He should come back. And He is there in the, he can be experienced only in stillness. And you will notice when you sit for silence, as soon as the silent session is over, it will be, the sound will not come immediately. What does it mean? When you sit silent and try to bring dimensions that help us to move towards the silence, in whatever way one gets the prompting from within. And after that session over, even the 1.5, when we come out of it, you don't feel like talking to anybody, That means the calmness or the stillness that is facilitated to taste remains. So when we make it as a practice, we have not made it as a practice. We hear about stillness, silence, but we have not made it as a practice. So when we make a practice, previously the mind was running riot. Now slowly it is coming around, So on the 61st Mahasamadhi day, Papa directed our attention to the most important aspect in sadhana, that is stilling the mind. Stillness of the mind alone can enable you to realize the presence of God within and without you. So in all our activities, wherever we plan, kindly include at least 10-15 minutes or 1 hour for this inward journey. This is the message he gave us on this Mahasamadhi day. Anybody has got anything to say, contribute, share?
I just wanted to share that I think this is the perfect direction. This is the perfect direction for sadhana, because that silence which we're trying to experience, it's actually the state of pure consciousness. The state of pure consciousness is the basis of the evolution to God consciousness. That experience of the Atman, the experience of the self, is what is available in the silence. Pure consciousness is a state of absolute silence. It's a state of total peace. It's a state of eternal bliss. And when we experience the silence, it gives us a taste of that um, which we really are. We are that unbounded, pure consciousness. We are that unified field which is the basis of life itself. And the experience of silence gives us a taste of the Atman. And this is the basis of the evolution of consciousness towards God consciousness. The basis of God consciousness is the knowledge of the self. And when the silence becomes stabilized, then we can begin to experience those more and more divine levels of consciousness, which Papa speaks about. But the basis, the foundation is pure consciousness, the experience of pure consciousness. And when we the bhajan finishes and we're just in the state of silence, I think we shouldn't watch. If we try to watch the mind, that's bringing the mind back up to an active level. But if we just sit innocently in the silence, then we may just transcend the surface active level of the mind and experience those quieter and quieter levels. And the deepest level of silence of the mind is the state of pure consciousness, the state of the Atman. And we may just transcend and experience the Atman. But if we try to watch, that'll bring the mind back up to the surface level of thinking. And this is just what we don't want. We just want to innocently dive to the depth of our awareness. And that innocence will allow us to experience pure consciousness. And this is the basis of the evolution to God consciousness.
Anything else from anybody?
Stillness of mind leads to quietude and reach the higher.
So it is high time we include it now. Yes?
In this aspect, there is nothing to say, only to experience.
Yes.
I just pray that I get that experience.
Yeah. So we try to add this in all our programs, and when we are on that, the guidance will come from within, because most of the things cannot be explained. So it will definitely come from within, and everyone will be led to that experience gradually. First we will be given some we may taste it, a sample. Then, oh, this is what we get. So there will be an attempt on our part to, whenever we resort to silence, initially the mind may try to do something, but it might not stick on to that. Then it slowly it's coming around, and whenever it is coming around and concentrating upon that experience, we can call it as consciousness or awareness, where there are no thoughts at the same time, we are not asleep. Something like that, no? Each one will get something. Puja Swamiji used to say, you need not explain that, because the moment you start explaining it, you are losing the charm of that experience. But let us add this aspect in whatever we are doing.
Swamiji, Ram does not speak. The moment he speaks, he is not Ram.
So let us try to go within. All these things we used to read. So much now the time has come that we will stop reading all these things and actually immerse ourselves. Just like Papa said, you should let go the arrow. Enough preparation we have done. Enough. And now the time has come for us to plunge into it. So every day we will, in our daily routine, we will set apart some time for this. And the mental chanting will initially definitely help, because whenever the mind thinks about anything that we have seen, anything that our senses take us away, or the mind takes us away, immediately we can take refuge in Ram Nam. And Ram Nam will connect us to the source. Because when in silence, when we mentally chant Ram Nam, instantaneously the stillness will be felt. Because Ram Nam comes from where? Ram Nam comes from the stillness. And this Ram Nam is mental chanting. So the disturbance is not there. Just like when you look at when you are reading this, the words, there is a whiteness and the alphabets, letters. We are only concentrating on the letters. But the letter becomes conspicuous only because of the whiteness. Wherever there is no whiteness, there it stands out. So though we may be reading, we are also becoming conscious of the whiteness behind it. Similarly, when we chant Ram Nam mentally, instantaneously, it comes from that base, and that base is stillness. So every now and then we can resort to mental chanting Ram Nam also, and then let us see how the indwelling reality takes us from stage to stage. Now, through Papa, we are at least 10 or 15 minutes after every session. So tomorrow from on, we will also make an attempt here. So all these put together, we will give a boost to our spiritual progress. Rather than staying at the outer level, we are also trying to go at the inner level. Swami Shivanji Maharaj had elaborately discussed about the silence. I'll just read out. This PPT can be shown?
Yes.
Same?
Same way. We can do it like this also. Like this, and then we can move.
Bhajan must lead you into silence. Papa's words. Silence not merely orally but mentally. That stage of silence you must reach soon, without going on making noises all their life. Utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. In the stillness it is that you know and realize God. Out of silence, tremendous forces are released. Wonders are worked. Learn to be silent. It is not merely outer silence, but inner silence, silence of the mind. When we recede into the depths of silence within us, we arrive at the true basis of our life. We discover that from this source, all life and manifestation have come forth in their amazing variety and multiplicity. It is at this source that we discover the eternal fountain of peace and joy. Until an individual gets the vision of this fundamental existence, fountain of peace and joy, Unless an individual gets the vision of this fundamental existence, he will be simply groping on the surface and therefore in the dark, in pursuit of vain and evanescent things, believing that these can yield him the true peace and happiness which his soul hungers for. He is beyond our comprehension. Therefore, silence is he. Silence is Brahman. The self does not require silence. It is always silent. Swami Shivananji says, purify the mind and meditate. Be still. And know that you are God. Calm the mind. Silence the bubbling thoughts and surging emotions. Plunge deep into the innermost recess of your heart. God or Brahman is supreme silence. Soul is silence. Peace is silence. Atman is silence. Silence is the language of Brahman. Silence is the language of the heart. Silence is immense strength. Silence is great eloquence. Silence is God. Silence is the substratum for this body, mind, prana, and senses. Silence is the background for the sense universe. Silence is power. Silence is a living force. Silence is the only reality. The peace that passeth all understanding is silence. Goal of your life is silence. Aim of your life is silence. Purpose of your existence is silence. Behind all noises and sounds is silence, thy innermost soul. Silence is thy real name. Silence is intuitive experience. Silence helps the intuitional self to express itself. Mysterious is this silence. To go into silence is to become God. Enter into silence. Know the silence. Enjoy the magnanimous silence. Become silence itself. Realize God now and here. So in the Mauna session, when we try to watch the mind, experience of the silence comes by itself. Straight away when we say silence, it may not be possible for the mind. Mind should go, So these words are absorbed by mind. So when we say we watch the mind, so that means we are trying to detach ourselves from the mind. And then what happened? The outcome. We will know that. So that is why in all Vipassana camps everywhere, they will not talk anything. Watch the mind. So each one can devise any method. Now we are, at least through this, Papa is making very, very clear. All our spiritual disciplines should ultimately zero to this, should direct us towards this. Otherwise, it will become an activity, that's all. Initially, with activity only, we can start. But later on, that activity should enable us to bring the outcome. Otherwise, it will stay as an activity. So now he is bent upon directing our attention to this fundamental aspect of sadhana, that moving towards stillness, moving towards silence.
The thing is, Swamiji, that if you introduce any effort into the process, then it will keep the mind on the surface level.
Yeah,
Because
but-
it's like, for
He said
instance,
if you introduce any
effort.
any effort, the mind will remain at the surface
Correct,
level.
correct,
Yeah, absolutely.
correct,
If you introduce any effort into the process,
correct.
then the mind will stay on the
Correct,
surface
correct.
level. It's like, for instance,
Quite right, quite.
if you're if you want to dive to the depths of the ocean, and if you keep treading water or you keep trying to stay in one place, then that will stop you from diving into the depths of the ocean.
Absolutely.
And if you keep thinking about one thing after another, like contemplation, going from one thought to another, that's still surface, staying on the surface of the ocean. But if you just let the mind be easy and let the mind just move in the direction of increasing charm, in the direction of bliss consciousness, pure consciousness is a state of infinite bliss,
Yeah.
Absolute peace, pure being, the source of existence. If you just let the mind be easy, it'll take the direction toward
Right.
increasing charm.
Right.
And the most charming level to the mind is the level of Satchidananda, the level of pure consciousness. That's the level which is the most blissful, the most charming. So if we let go, if we don't hold the mind, we don't try, we don't introduce any effort, and we just be silent, the mind will begin to move in the direction of pure consciousness spontaneously.
That is why they say, just watch.
Yeah, but if you watch, that's keeping the mind active. It's some activity. Because if you introduce any trying into it, that'll keep the mind absorbed on the surface.
Yeah.
You understand?
Each one will get their own direction.
Okay.
Each one will get.
Okay, but I just wanted to introduce that idea. That effort.
Yeah.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji. Swamiji, I just wanted to add in my experience to the Swamiji, can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Yes, Swamiji. I wanted to add my experience also to the conversation that we are having right now. And I want you to guide me whether I'm going in the right direction. Because what I feel when I heard just now Mataji talking about not watching, and I can by watching is she's trying to watch her thoughts, and watching her thoughts is probably she's thinking that I'm watching, I'm doing an activity because I'm watching my thoughts. My thoughts are coming, there's another thought coming, then there's another, so I'm watching that, so that's an activity, and that is not something that I would like to do. I would rather like to dive deep into the pure stillness, pure being within. That's what I understand what she's trying to say. And Swamiji, when you talk about watching the thoughts, and when you say you did not say watching the thoughts. You said that when you watch, and then you realize that you are the watcher, you are that pure being. So the moment, and this is Swamiji, because as I listened to you and as I also started practicing silence, so when I silence,
Yes.
and I just remember that when you the moment you sit in the silence, you think that okay, what are you doing? You are like watching your mind. Who is watching the mind? It's not you. And who is that you? That you is actually that pure stillness, pure being within me. And the moment, Swamiji, my thought goes to that pure being, automatically it becomes silent. And then I stay in that silence sometimes, Swamiji,
Mhm.
but then I, I don't know. I mean, I might feel, I mean, it's like all silent. So, Swamiji, then what I do is I try to bring, I, uh, I come back to the activity level again and then start bring my awareness to my body parts. Like I start, rather than thinking of any thoughts, then I would bring my awareness to my body parts and um, feel those sensations and if and after some time focus on my breath and then Swamiji, when I have to end my morning session, and then Swamiji, then I would just surrender everything to the Lord. That is how Swamiji I have been practicing.
I-
But sorry, Swamiji. But then coming back to the conversation, what I intended to say is that my experience is when we start watching the mind, we are not actually watching the thoughts. We are trying to realize that that pure being, is what I am, and that's the watcher. Yes, Swamiji. Tell me.
Yeah. See, actually, to be more blunt, when we say we are watching the mind, we are trying to clear all our conception, no? All our procedures, all our set notes, everything.
Yes,
We are
Swamiji.
rising above. We are rising above. Because all those conception and everything, they are all hurdles later. Initially, it might have helped us. But now we find every time when we start plunging into it, our old concepts, our old fixed notions about sadhana, about stillness, about this and that, all the theories, they come and stand before us as a roadblock. So we have to go past all that we have so far conceived. So how to do that? There comes this watching. Because the mind is full of concepts, so many things, we have tried, our impressions, our memories, our experience, everything is there recorded. So the moment we try to identify with it, we become involved in it. But suppose we try to watch everything, that means a sort of detachment from all those things. That process will take us further because we are now free from everything. Under the banner of spirituality, under the banner of sadhana, we have stuffed our brain with so many concepts, so many trials, so many memories. And all those things have not so far given us the real dividend of peace and happiness, of everlasting peace, fullness.
Swamiji,
So we try now any method, not only one method. Yeah, as many men, so many paths. Each one can try, but now the path, the goal is becoming clearer and clearer. That we should become free from all these things. Yeah.
Swamiji, I just remember this. Na bhed to mohi kya sadhaka. Is no difference between sadhana and sadhaka.
Correct. That stage, all those things which we have named it as sadhana, those are all concepts, and unknowingly they are. You should not say that, but the truth is, it is a roadblock. In this connection, we will read one more.
Swamini,
1 minute, 1 minute. When the false conventions and ostentatious observances are broken through, the soul is liberated. For realizing the truth, no external paraphernalia is necessary. No garb, no sign, no cult, no creed can help you. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind. Go to meet the eternal in the perfect nakedness of your spirit. Shedding all make-believe forms, customs, and traditions. A simple common sense revelation will come to all of us. That we are going through sadhana, this and that, Even when we are not aware of it, we are ignorant, of the sadhana. He is still there, It is not that by sadhana he is coming back or he has come down. Even in the absence of all these, he is within us. He has been with us. When we were not knowing about any various sadhanas, various attempts, the concepts, or actions, any steps, but even before all these things, he is still there, So that means he does not need any condition to reveal himself. The only condition, if we can say, is just to remember and realize him. We often feel, many of you might know this, when we want to have the jackfruit, we cut the jackfruit and immediately we take some coconut oil or some oil and then put it around our hands. Otherwise it gets sticky, And then we remove the fruits from the jackfruit. Jackfruit, what do you call that? Fruit, okay. And then afterwards, you also wash your hand so that it doesn't stick. So similarly, we use the so-called worded sadhana or whatever you call it, It is something like this coconut oil so that we don't get stuck anywhere. And after this also has to be shed. So that's what here Papa says. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind, go to meet the eternal in the perfect nakedness of your spirit. The nakedness of spirit means even when we were not aware of it, it is still there, It has been with us. Right from the moment of our bijam, our seed stage, till now, it has been with us. The only thing is we were not aware. So to be within us, it doesn't need any conditions. Kindly think about it. Highly subjective, but then only it becomes clear to us. Correct, I was not aware about him, but still he has been with me now. I did not do this and that, this and that, this and that, but still he has been with me. So all that I do is only to somehow remember him, to realize him. This will become clearer and clearer to us. Initially we get stuck, We get stuck with whatever we are doing under the banner of spiritual discipline. But we should always know this word. In Hints to Aspirant, Papa has beautifully brought it out. Because as we said, he has placed everything before us after his experience. So here he says, the day will come when, up to that we may be doing so many things, when you have to leave all these behind, to go and go to meet the eternal in the perfect nakedness of your spirit, shedding all make-believe forms, customs and traditions. Simplicity, spontaneity, humility become the guiding principles of your life. You move freely with all, you love all alike, you break all boundaries set by the calculating and selfish human mind. You soar like a free bird in the infinite expanse of the spiritual firmament. You look upon all beings and creatures as the embodiment of the one divine all-pervading spirit. Temples, ashrams, mosques, churches, synagogues, viharas cannot imprison your soul. You find your soul's delight and joy at all places, in the best as well as the worst. Because he is with us, This simple truth, suppose we keep on contemplating. He has been with me, and the sense of individuality, I was not aware of it. Then he caused me to get in touch with a realized soul, Guru, who says God is within you. Even then, I thought, that is something I have to strive hard. And naturally, for anything to acquire in the Vyavaharic life, we have to strive hard. We have to earn for it. So naturally, we were striving hard, and we call it a sadhana. All those things enabled us to move away from the usual field, and then it was necessary, no doubt. Then not carry on with that, leave that also. So we interpret, we don't know whether it is right or wrong, we interpret by watching the mind, we are trying to shed all these things.
We mustn't try. The whole thing is the try.
So that
That's the effort.
the witness consciousness, untouched, unaffected by any of these things. So with that background, we let us see. Let us be guided by the outcome, not by the words. In whatever way he directs us from within, we will try that. But these words will definitely help, not sticking. They are very, very powerful when the false conventions and I cannot read that. When the false conventions and ostentatious observances, are broken through, the soul is liberated. For realizing the truth, no external paraphernalia is necessary. Because he is there, only to become aware of his presence. No garb, no sign, no cult, no creed can help you. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind and go to meet the eternal in the perfect nakedness of your spirit, shedding all make-believe forms, customs and traditions. Simplicity, spontaneity, humility become the guiding principles of your life. You move freely with all, you love all alike, you break all boundaries set by the calculating and selfish human mind. You soar like a free bird in the infinite expanse of the spiritual firmament. You look upon all beings and creatures as the embodiment of the one divine, all-pervading spirit. Temples, ashrams, that means anything conventional, it cannot bind us. We cannot imprison your soul. You find your soul's delight and joy at all places, in the best as well as the worst. So enough food Papa has given on the 61st Samadhi day. And today's message is that we set apart 5 to 10 minutes to quieten the mind, to calm the mind. And when there is a congregational program, wherever we are, even if it's 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, we will have this, nothing else, only to observe silence, and the guidance will come. What next?
Unfathomable journey towards silence.
What on that?
Unfathomable.
Yeah. We should try. So far we have stuffed our brain with so many words, so many expressions, so many. Now we keep everything away. Plunge into this. Enough is enough. This is the powerful message Papa is giving us today. We pray to him to give us the needed push from inside, commitment from inside, fixed resolve from inside, so that we keep it up. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Pranam, pranam,
Pranam,
pranam.
Swami.
Pranam, pranam.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, namaskaram, namaskaram.
Pranam, Swami.
Pranam.
Daily the silence prayer.